The rain hammers down on Fifth Avenue like bullets of ice. Through the chaos of umbrellas and designer coats, Marcus Chen strides forward with the confidence of a man who owns the world. His $3,000 suit doesn't have a single wrinkle. His shoes shine even in the downpour. Behind him, two assistants struggle to keep pace, tablets glowing with numbers that would make most people dizzy. Marcus doesn't even glance at them. He knows the numbers. He always knows the numbers. That's when he sees him. Sitting against the marble facade of the Rothschild building. A man wrapped in layers of torn fabric, a cardboard sign propped against his knee, and a small worn notebook clutched in his weathered hands. The homeless man's fingers are stained with ink. His face is hidden beneath a hood, but his posture suggests something unusual. Dignity. Stillness. Like a monk meditating in the middle of a war zone. Marcus stops. Not because he cares. But because the man is sitting directly in front of the entrance to his building. His building. The headquarters of Chen Capital Ventures. The empire he built from nothing. Move, Marcus says. His voice is sharp, surgical. He doesn't raise it. Men like Marcus never need to shout. The homeless man doesn't respond. He simply turns a page in his notebook, his fingers careful, reverent even. Marcus steps closer. His assistants hesitate. They know that tone. Something is about to happen. I said move. You're blocking the entrance to a $20 billion building with your existence. Marcus gestures vaguely at the man's cardboard sign. What does that even say? Lost everything but still have everything? What kind of fortune cookie nonsense is that? The homeless man looks up. His eyes are gray. Deep gray. The kind that have seen too much. And when he speaks, his voice is quiet but impossibly steady. You're right, the man says. I did lose everything. But I wonder, Mr. Chen, when was the last time you had anything real to lose? Marcus freezes. The assistants exchange glances. How does this man know his name? The homeless man closes his notebook slowly. You walk past me every day. Same time. Same expression. Like a machine. I've been counting. 417 days. You've never once looked at me as a human being. Until today. Marcus feels something flicker inside him. Anger? Fear? He crushes it. You think you know me? Marcus leans down, his face inches from the man's. You think sitting on a sidewalk scribbling in a diary gives you insight into my life? I built everything I have. What have you built? A pile of rags? The homeless man tilts his head. And then he says something that will haunt Marcus for weeks. I built something once. Something that mattered. But I learned the difference between building an empire and building a legacy. You're about to learn it too. Whether you want to or not. Marcus straightens. His jaw tightens. Security. Remove this man. Now. Two guards emerge from the building. But as they approach, the homeless man stands on his own. He tucks the notebook carefully into his coat. And as he walks away, slowly, through the rain, he says one last thing without turning around. The answer you're looking for is on page 73. When you're ready. Marcus watches him disappear into the crowd. He doesn't know why his hands are shaking. World of the investor. Marcus Chen's penthouse is 30 stories above the city. Floor-to-ceiling windows reveal Manhattan like a kingdom beneath his feet. Everything is steel and glass. Clean lines. No warmth. The furniture costs more than most people's homes, but it feels like a museum. Untouched. Unlived in. He pours himself a scotch. Macallan 1946. $60,000 a bottle. He doesn't taste it anymore. He just drinks it because he can. His phone vibrates. 17 missed calls. His ex-wife. He silences it. They haven't spoken in 4 years. Not since the divorce. Not since she told him he was a ghost in an expensive suit. He thought it was dramatic. Typical of her. But sometimes, late at night, when the city goes quiet, he wonders if she was right. On the wall hangs a magazine cover. Forbes. Marcus Chen, the man who never loses. The article calls him ruthless, brilliant, untouchable. It describes how he destroyed 3 competitors in a single quarter. How he turned a failing tech startup into a billion-dollar acquisition by firing 80% of the staff. Efficient. Necessary. Profitable. But the article doesn't mention his daughter. Sophia. 12 years old. Lives with his ex-wife in Connecticut. He sees her twice a year. Christmas and her birthday. Last Christmas, she barely spoke to him. Just opened his gift, a diamond bracelet, and said, "Thanks." No hug. No smile. She looked at him the way you'd look at a stranger. Marcus sets down the glass. He walks to his office, room dominated by monitors displaying stock tickers, live feeds from Tokyo, London, New York. Numbers cascading like rain. He loves this room. Here, everything makes sense. Everything is measurable. Predictable. Controllable. But tonight, something feels wrong. He keeps seeing those gray eyes. That notebook. The calm in the man's voice. When was the last time you had anything real to lose? Marcus shakes his head. He opens his laptop. There's a presentation waiting. Tomorrow, he's meeting with the board of Meridian Pharmaceuticals. They're developing a drug that could save millions of lives. But it's expensive to produce. And profitable. Marcus has a plan to gut the research division, sell the patents to a competitor, and triple the stock price. It's brilliant. It's ruthless. It's what he does. He stares at the first slide. A photo of the lead scientist, Dr. Raymond Kress, holding a prototype inhaler. The man's eyes are full of hope. Marcus has never met him. Doesn't need to. Numbers don't have faces. But tonight, for some reason, he closes the laptop. He walks back to the window. Looks down at the streets below. Somewhere down there, a man sits on a sidewalk with a notebook. A man who knew his name. Who counted the days. Marcus presses his forehead against the cold glass. And for the first time in years, he feels something he thought he'd buried forever. Loneliness. World of the homeless man. The shelter on 8th Avenue smells like disinfectant and desperation. The homeless man, whose name is Daniel Mercer, sits on a thin cot in the corner. Around him, men and women huddle under blankets, some sleeping, some staring at nothing. Daniel is the only one who's awake and focused. He has his notebook open, a pen in his hand, writing by the light of a single flickering bulb. His handwriting is meticulous. Equations. Diagrams. Paragraphs of dense text. This is not the scrawl of a broken man. This is the work of someone who once built things. Who once mattered. Daniel pauses. His hand trembles slightly. Not from cold. From memory. He flips back several pages. There's a photograph tucked inside. Faded. Cracked. A woman with kind eyes and a bright smile. Next to her, a little boy, maybe 6 years old, holding a toy airplane. Daniel stares at the photo for a long time. His eyes glisten, but no tears fall. He ran out of tears 2 years ago. Her name was Emily. The boy was Jacob. They were his whole world. He closes the notebook gently, as if it might shatter. This notebook is all he has left of them. Of the life he once lived. Inside it are blueprints for a water purification system that could bring clean drinking water to impoverished communities. Designs for low-cost housing. Theories on sustainable agriculture. Everything he dreamed of building with Emily. Everything they planned before the accident. Daniel stands and walks to the small, grimy window. Outside, the city glows. Somewhere in one of those towers, Marcus Chen is probably sipping expensive whiskey, surrounded by luxury, drowning in emptiness. Daniel knows men like Marcus. He used to be one of them. 20 years ago, he was Dr. Daniel Mercer, a professor of engineering at MIT. Published author. Consultant to Fortune 500 companies. He had a house in Cambridge. A wife who believed in him. A son who thought his father could solve any problem. And then, one night, everything shattered. A drunk driver. A red light ignored. Emily and Jacob were gone in an instant. Daniel survived. But the guilt swallowed him whole. He stopped working. Stopped eating. Stopped existing. The university let him go. The house was foreclosed. Friends disappeared. And one day, he woke up on a sidewalk, holding the only thing he couldn't let go of, the notebook. The dream he and Emily built together. Now, 2 years later, he lives in the margins of society. Invisible. Forgotten. But his mind is still sharp. And his heart, though shattered, still beats with purpose. He opens the notebook again. On the first page, written in Emily's handwriting, is a single sentence: "We build things that matter. Not things that make money. Things that matter." Daniel runs his finger over the words. He made a promise to her. That he would finish their work. That he would find a way to make it real. Even if it killed him. He looks out the window one more time. Toward the tower where Marcus Chen lives. And he whispers to the night. "You're not ready yet. But you will be." First confrontation. 3 days later, Marcus leaves the office early. It's unusual for him. But he's been distracted. Sleeping poorly. The numbers don't hold his attention the way they used to. And he keeps thinking about that man. Daniel. He looked up security footage. Found his face. Ran a background check. Dr. Daniel Mercer. Former MIT professor. Published 17 papers on sustainable engineering. Consultant for the World Bank. And then, nothing. A gap. 2 years of silence. No address. No employment. No trace. How does a man like that end up on a sidewalk? Marcus doesn't know why he cares. But he does. And it bothers him. He walks the same route as always. 5th Avenue. Past the luxury stores. Past the crowds. And there, in the same spot, is Daniel. Sitting. Notebook open. Same calm expression. Marcus stops. This time, he doesn't call security. He just stands there, looking down at the man who somehow knows his name. "You ran a background check on me," Daniel says without looking up. "I can tell by the way you're standing." Confused. Curious. Maybe even a little afraid. Marcus stiffens. "I'm not afraid of you." "No," Daniel agrees. "You're afraid of what I represent." He finally looks up. Those gray eyes again. Steady. Unflinching. "You're afraid that everything you've built means nothing." Marcus laughs. But it sounds hollow. "You're homeless. You have nothing. And you think you can lecture me about meaning?" Daniel closes his notebook. "I had everything once. And I lost it. You have everything now. And you're losing it without even realizing. You don't know me. I know you better than you think." Daniel stands. He's taller than Marcus expected. Broader. There's a strength in him that poverty hasn't touched. You walk past me every day at exactly 7:47 a.m. You never smile. You never look at anyone. You're always on your phone, always moving, always working. But you're not building anything. You're just filling the void. Marcus's fists clench. You think you're wise because you gave up? Because you quit? I didn't quit, Daniel says quietly. I was destroyed. There's a difference. But what I learned in the destruction is something you'll never learn in your tower. I learned what actually matters. And what's that? Enlightenment? Peace? Spare me the fortune cookie philosophy. Daniel smiles. It's sad. Kind. You'll understand. Soon. Marcus steps closer. His voice drops. Dangerous. Stay away from me. Stop sitting here. Stop pretending you have answers. You're nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing. Daniel doesn't flinch. He just looks at Marcus with something that feels like pity. And then he says, very softly. Your daughter's birthday is next week. You've already bought her a gift. Another piece of jewelry she doesn't want. But you won't call her. You'll just send it with a card. And she'll open it alone. And she'll cry. Not because she's ungrateful. But because she misses her father. Marcus goes white. His breath catches. How do you know? But Daniel is already walking away. And Marcus is left standing there, frozen, feeling something crack inside him that he thought was made of steel. Public humiliation. A week later, Marcus's world starts to fracture. The Meridian Pharmaceuticals deal falls through. The board rejects his proposal. They call it morally bankrupt. The press picks it up. Headlines scream, Chen Capital criticized for profit over people. His reputation, untouchable for years, suddenly feels fragile. Marcus is furious. He works 18-hour days trying to salvage the situation. But nothing helps. And every morning, when he leaves his building, Daniel is there. Sitting. Writing. Calm. It drives Marcus insane. On Friday, Marcus snaps. There's a crowd outside the building. A protest. People holding signs about corporate greed. And right in the middle of it all, sitting peacefully, is Daniel. Marcus storms over. Cameras are everywhere. Phones are recording. He doesn't care. You, Marcus says, pointing at Daniel. You did this. You've been spreading lies about me. Daniel looks up. I haven't said a word about you to anyone. Then why are they here? Why is my name being dragged through the mud? Maybe, Daniel says calmly, because your actions speak louder than I ever could. The crowd murmurs. Someone laughs. Marcus feels his face flush. You're pathetic, Marcus hisses. Sitting here like some kind of martyr. You think people respect you? They pity you. You're a failure. Daniel stands. Slowly. The crowd goes quiet. He looks Marcus in the eye. And then, in a voice that carries despite its gentleness, he says. I'd rather be a failure who tried to build something meaningful than a success who only knows how to destroy. The words land like a punch. Cameras flash. People start clapping. Not for Marcus. For Daniel. Marcus feels the world tilt. He opens his mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. He looks around. Sees the faces. The judgment. The contempt. For the first time in his life, Marcus Chen, the man who never loses, feels utterly defeated. He turns and walks back into his building. The crowd parts for him. But not with respect. with disgust. And as the elevator doors close, Marcus sees Daniel through the glass. Still standing. Still calm. Still holding that damned notebook. The sentence that breaks the investor. That night, Marcus doesn't go home. He stays in his office. Lights off. Just him and the city glowing outside his window. He replays the scene over and over. The way Daniel stood. The way he spoke. The way the crowd responded. I'd rather be a failure who tried to build something meaningful than a success who only knows how to destroy. Marcus throws his glass across the room. It shatters against the wall. Scotch drips down the steel. He doesn't care. He pulls out his phone. Scrolls to his daughter's contact. His finger hovers over the call button. He hasn't spoken to her in 3 months. Not since her birthday. Not since he sent the bracelet. She never even texted a thank you. He puts the phone down. Opens his laptop instead. Searches for Daniel Mercer. Digs deeper this time. Finds old articles. Interviews. Photos of a younger Daniel standing with his wife and son, smiling, holding a model of a water purification system. The headline reads, MIT professor's innovation could save millions in developing nations. Marcus stares at the photo. This was a man who mattered. Who built things. Who had a family. And now he's on the street. What happened? Marcus keeps digging. Finds a police report. An accident. Emily Mercer and Jacob Mercer. Pronounced dead at the scene. Daniel Mercer. Survivor. Marcus's chest tightens. He closes the laptop. Puts his head in his hands. He thinks about his own daughter. About the last time he held her. She was 4. Crying because she scraped her knee. He picked her up, kissed her forehead, promised her everything would be okay. She believed him then. When did he stop being that man? His phone vibrates. A text from his ex-wife. Sophia asked about you today. I didn't know what to tell her. Marcus stares at the message. His hands shake. And then, for the first time in 10 years, Marcus Chen, the man who built an empire, the man who never loses, breaks. He cries. Quietly. Alone. In the dark. Reveal of the homeless man's background. The next morning, Marcus doesn't go to work. Instead, he goes looking for Daniel. He walks the streets. Checks the usual spot. Empty. Asks around. A woman selling flowers points him toward the shelter on 8th Avenue. Marcus has never been inside a homeless shelter. The smell hits him first. Then the sounds. Coughing. Murmuring. The shuffle of feet. He feels out of place in his suit. People stare. I'm looking for Daniel Mercer, Marcus says to a man at the front desk. The man squints. Dan? Yeah, he's here. Bunk 42. But he doesn't like visitors. Marcus walks through the rows of cots. Men and women watch him with suspicion. He finds Daniel sitting on his cot, notebook open, writing. Dr. Mercer, Marcus says. Daniel looks up. Surprise flickers across his face, then fades. Mr. Chen. You're a long way from 5th Avenue. I need to talk to you. About what? How to destroy more lives. I'm retired from that field. Marcus swallows his pride. Please. 5 minutes. Daniel closes his notebook. Gestures to the cot across from him. Marcus sits. The mattress is thin. Lumpy. He's never sat on anything like it. Why are you here? Daniel asks. I looked you up, Marcus admits. I know what happened. Your wife. Your son. I'm sorry. Daniel's face doesn't change. Sorry doesn't bring them back. No. It doesn't. Marcus looks down at his hands. But I need to understand. You were brilliant. You had a career. Recognition. Why did you give it all up? I didn't give it up, Daniel says. It was taken from me. And when it was, I realized something. All those years building my reputation, my career, my success, none of it mattered. Because when I lost Emily and Jacob, I lost everything that was real. The rest was just noise. But you're still here. Still writing in that notebook. Why? Daniel's hand moves to the notebook, protective. Because I made a promise. To Emily. That I would finish our work. That I wouldn't let her dream die with her. What dream? Daniel studies Marcus for a long moment. Then, slowly, he opens the notebook. Flips through pages. Stops on a detailed blueprint. This is a water purification system. It can turn seawater into drinking water using solar power. No electricity. No maintenance. It costs $30 to build. I designed it with Emily. She was an environmental engineer. Together, we could have brought clean water to millions. Marcus stares at the blueprint. It's genius. Simple. Elegant. Effective. Why didn't you? Because she died before we could finish. And I fell apart. Daniel closes the notebook. But I'm still working on it. Even here. Even now. Because it's all I have left of her. And maybe, just maybe, if I finish it, her life will have meant something. Marcus feels a lump in his throat. You could still do it. Get funding. Find investors. Investors? Daniel laughs bitterly. I've tried. No one wants to fund a homeless man with a dream. They want returns. Profits. Things they can measure. They don't care about saving lives. They care about saving their portfolios. Marcus looks away. He knows Daniel is right. He's one of those investors. What's in the rest of the notebook? Marcus asks quietly. Daniel's expression softens. Everything. Housing designs. Agricultural models. Educational programs. Emily and I spent 10 years building this. It's not just a notebook. It's a blueprint for a better world. A world she believed in. Marcus feels something shift inside him. Can I see it? Daniel hesitates. Then shakes his head. You're not ready. Why not? Because you're still the man who walked past me 417 times without seeing me. You're still the man who destroys things for profit. You're still the man who abandoned his daughter. Daniel leans forward. When you become the man who's ready to build instead of destroy, come back. Then I'll show you. Marcus stands. He wants to argue. To defend himself. But he can't. Because Daniel is right. He turns to leave. Then stops. How do I become that man? Daniel looks at him. Those gray eyes. Deep. Infinite. You start by calling your daughter. Investor's internal collapse. Marcus doesn't go home. He walks. 4 hours. Through neighborhoods he's never been to. Past people he's never noticed. The city looks different when you're not trying to conquer it. He ends up at a park. Sits on a bench. Watches children play. A father pushes his daughter on a swing. She laughs. The sound is pure. Joyful. Marcus can't remember the last time he heard his daughter laugh. He pulls out his phone. Stares at Sophia's contact. His finger hovers over the call button. But he's terrified. What if she doesn't answer? What if she does, and has nothing to say to him? He calls anyway. It rings. Once. Twice. 3 times. Then. Hello? Her voice. Older than he remembers. More mature. Sophia. It's Dad. Silence. Then, I know. I wanted to call. To see how you are. I'm fine. Good. That's good. Marcus's throat tightens. How's school? Fine. And your mom? Fine. Every answer is a wall. Marcus doesn't know how to climb it. Sophia, He takes a breath. I'm sorry. For not being there. For missing your birthday. For everything. More silence. Then, quietly, you didn't miss my birthday. You sent a bracelet. I should have been there. Yeah. You should have. Marcus closes his eyes. Can I come see you? This weekend? Why? Because I want to. Because I miss you. Sophia's voice cracks. You don't miss me. You miss the idea of me. You miss feeling like you're a good dad. But you're not. You're never here. You're never anywhere except your office. That's going to change. You always say that. I mean it this time. Do you? Sophia's voice is bitter now. Older than 12. Because I've heard it before. And then you disappear again. And Mom cries. And I pretend I don't care. But I do, Dad. I care so much it hurts. Marcus is crying. He doesn't even try to hide it. I know. I know I've failed you. But I'm asking for a chance. One more chance. Please. Sophia is quiet for a long time. Then, one chance. That's it. If you mess this up, I'm done. I won't mess it up. Saturday. 2 p.m. Mom's house. I'll be there. Okay. She pauses. Dad? Yeah. Don't bring a gift. Just show up. The line goes dead. Marcus sits on the bench, phone in his hand, tears streaming down his face. Around him, life continues. Children play. Parents laugh. The world keeps turning. But for Marcus, something has stopped. And something else has started. The homeless man's true backstory, deepen. That night, Marcus can't sleep. He lies in his bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Daniel. About his daughter. About everything he's lost without realizing it. He gets up. Goes to his computer. Searches for more information about Daniel Mercer. Finds an old video. A TED Talk from 15 years ago. Daniel is younger. Confident. Standing on stage with Emily beside him. She's beautiful. Radiant. Daniel's hand finds hers as he speaks. My wife and I believe that innovation isn't about creating the next billion-dollar app, Daniel says in the video. It's about solving the problems that actually matter. Clean water. Affordable housing. Sustainable food. These are the challenges that define our generation. And if we don't address them, what's the point of all our wealth? All our technology? All our progress? The audience applauds. Emily smiles. She looks at Daniel with so much love it's almost painful to watch. Marcus keeps watching. Finds another video. Daniel at a protest. Fighting against a corporation that was dumping chemicals into a river. He's arrested. But he doesn't stop. Finds another video. Daniel teaching a class at MIT. Students hanging on every word. He's passionate. Alive. This was a man who fought for things. Who believed in things. Who built things that mattered. And Marcus? What has he built? Buildings that bear his name. Wealth that will outlast him. But nothing that matters. Nothing that helps. Nothing that lasts beyond a quarterly earnings report. Marcus searches for Daniel's wife. Emily Mercer. Finds her obituary. Emily Mercer, 38, died tragically in a car accident along with her son, Jacob, 6. She is survived by her husband, Dr. Daniel Mercer. Emily was a dedicated environmental engineer, a loving mother, and a fierce advocate for sustainable development. Her work brought clean water to communities in 12 countries. She believed in a world where everyone had access to basic human necessities. Her legacy will live on through the countless lives she touched. Marcus reads it 3 times. He looks at her photo. She's holding Jacob. They're both smiling. So full of life. And now they're gone. And Daniel is alone. Sitting on a sidewalk. Writing in a notebook. Clinging to the only thing he has left. Marcus closes the laptop. He walks to his window. Looks out at the city. All those lights. All those lives. And he wonders how many of them are as empty as his. He makes a decision. Tomorrow, he's going to find Daniel again. And this time, he's not going to ask questions. He's going to listen. Turning point. Saturday morning. Marcus drives to Connecticut. His ex-wife's house is beautiful. Colonial style. White picket fence. The kind of place he bought to show he'd made it. But he never lived there. Not really. He was always at the office. He knocks. His ex-wife, Catherine, opens the door. She's still beautiful. But there's hardness in her eyes now. A distance. Marcus. Catherine. Thank you for letting me come. She doesn't smile. I didn't do it for you. I did it for Sophia. I know. She lets him in. The house smells like vanilla. Clean. Warm. Everything his penthouse isn't. Sophia is sitting on the couch. She's grown so much. Almost a teenager. She looks up when he enters. Her expression is guarded. Hi, Dad. Hi, sweetheart. They stand there. Awkward. Strangers. Catherine clears her throat. I'll give you two some space. She leaves. Marcus sits on the couch. Not too close. Sophia pulls her knees up. Defensive. I'm glad you came, she says. But she doesn't sound glad. She sounds careful. I promised I would. You've broken promises before. Marcus nods. I have. And I'm sorry. Sophia picks at a thread on the couch. Why now? Why do you suddenly care? Marcus thinks about Daniel. About the notebook. About everything he's learned in the past 2 weeks. Because I met someone. Someone who made me realize I've been living wrong. Focusing on the wrong things. What things? Money. Power. Success. I thought that's what mattered. But it doesn't. Not really. What matters is. He looks at her. You. Your mom. The people I love. I forgot that. And I'm sorry. Sophia's eyes well up. Do you even love me? Or do you just feel guilty? The question hits Marcus like a freight train. I love you. More than anything. I forgot how to show it. Then show me. Her voice breaks. Stop telling me. Stop sending gifts. Just be here. Be my dad. Marcus moves closer. Slowly. Like approaching a wounded animal. Can I hug you? Sophia hesitates. Then nods. Marcus wraps his arms around her. She's stiff at first. Then she melts. And she starts to cry. Deep, heaving sobs. Years of pain spilling out. I missed you, she whispers. I missed you so much. Marcus holds her tighter. I'm here now. I'm not going anywhere. They stay like that for a long time. And for the first time in years, Marcus feels like a father. The offer/request. Monday morning. Marcus doesn't go to the office. He goes to 8th Avenue. To the shelter. Asks for Daniel. The man at the desk recognizes him. He's outside. Back alley. Marcus finds Daniel sitting on a crate, notebook open, writing. He looks up as Marcus approaches. You came back, Daniel says. I called my daughter. I saw her. We talked. Really talked. Daniel nods. Good. Marcus sits on another crate. You were right. About everything. I've been destroying my life. And I didn't even know it. Most people don't. I want to help you, Marcus says. Let me fund your project. The water purification system. The housing. All of it. I have the resources. You have the vision. We can do this. Daniel closes his notebook. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. That's not enough. Why do you want to help me? Marcus thinks. Really thinks. Because I want to build something that matters. I've spent my whole life accumulating wealth. But it's meaningless. Empty. I want to leave a legacy. A real one. Not buildings with my name on them. Something that helps people. Daniel studies him. You're not ready. What? Why not? I'm offering you millions. A partnership. Everything you need. I don't need your money, Marcus. I need you to understand what this is really about. Then explain it to me. Daniel opens the notebook. Flips to the first page. Shows Marcus the sentence written in Emily's handwriting. We build things that matter. Not things that make money. Things that matter. I understand that. Do you? Because building something that matters means sacrifice. It means giving up profit for purpose. It means doing things that won't make you richer or more powerful. It means being willing to fail. To be mocked. To be invisible. Are you ready for that? Marcus hesitates. Is he? I don't know, he admits. But I want to try. Daniel looks at him for a long moment. Then he hands Marcus the notebook. Read it. All of it. And when you're done, if you still want to help, we'll talk. Marcus takes the notebook carefully. It's heavier than he expected. He opens it. Page after page of designs. Plans. Ideas. Each one meticulously detailed. This isn't just a dream. This is a blueprint for changing the world. Take your time, Daniel says. But know this, once you start down this path, there's no going back. You can't be the man you were and the man you need to become. You have to choose. Marcus nods. I'll read it. He leaves. Notebook in hand. And as he walks away, he feels the weight of it. Not just the physical weight. But the weight of responsibility. Of purpose. Of meaning. For the first time in his life, Marcus Chen is carrying something that matters. The revelation of the notebook. Marcus spends the entire night reading. He doesn't eat. Doesn't sleep. Just reads. Page after page. And with each page, something inside him breaks and rebuilds. The water purification system. Simple. Elegant. Could provide clean water to millions in Africa, Asia, South America. Cost per unit, $30. Profit margin, 0. Impact, immeasurable. Affordable housing designs. Modular. Sustainable. Could be built in days. Houses for homeless families. For refugees. For anyone who needs shelter. Cost per house, $5,000. Profit margin, 0. Impact, life-changing. Educational programs. Free online courses. Teaching sustainable engineering. Empowering communities to build their own solutions. Cost, time. Profit margin, 0. Impact, generational. Agricultural innovations. Vertical farming. Hydroponic systems. Food security for urban populations. Cost, minimal. Profit margin, 0. Impact, revolutionary. Every page is another dream. Another solution. Another chance to change the world. And every page ends with a note in Emily's handwriting. Little messages to Daniel. You can do this. I believe in you. This will save lives. Marcus reaches page 70. K. Continuer. -3. The page Daniel mentioned that first day. It's different from the others. No diagrams. No blueprints. Just a letter. My dearest Daniel. If you're reading this, I'm gone. And I'm so sorry. Sorry I won't be there to finish this with you. Sorry I won't see Jacob grow up. Sorry I won't grow old with you. But please, my love, don't stop. Don't give up on our dream. The world needs this. The world needs you. I know you'll blame yourself. I know you'll think you could have done something differently. But you couldn't. Some things are beyond our control. What we can control is how we respond. What we build from the ashes. Build, Daniel. Build the world we dreamed of. Build it for me. For Jacob. For everyone who needs it. And remember, you are not measured by your wealth or your status or your success. You are measured by what you give. What you sacrifice. What you build that lasts beyond you. I love you. Always. Forever. Emily. Marcus closes the notebook. He's crying. Sobbing. He can't stop. He thinks about Emily and Jacob. About Catherine and Sophia. About all the time he's wasted. All the things he's destroyed in the name of profit. He thinks about the Meridian Pharmaceuticals deal. The research he tried to kill. The lives that could have been saved. He thinks about the startups he crushed. The people he fired. The communities he hurt. He's built an empire on destruction. And for what? Money? Power? Things that don't matter. Things that won't last. He picks up his phone. Calls his assistant. Cancel all my meetings. Indefinitely. Sir. All of them. All of them. And set up a meeting with the Meridian board. Tell them I want to fund the research. Fully. No strings attached. But sir, that will. I don't care about the profit. Do it. He hangs up. Calls his lawyer. I want to set up a foundation. The Emily and Jacob Mercer Foundation. Fund it with half my net worth. Focus, sustainable development. Clean water. Affordable housing. Education. Half your net worth? Mr. Chen, are you? Just do it. He hangs up. Takes a breath. And for the first time in years, Marcus Chen feels something he thought he'd lost forever. Purpose. Transformation. The next 6 months are a blur. Marcus doesn't recognize his own life anymore. And he's grateful for it. He steps down as CEO of Chen Capital Ventures. Appoints someone else. Someone who cares about people, not just profits. He stays on the board but focuses on redirecting the company's investments. Sustainable energy. Healthcare. Education. Things that matter. The Emily and Jacob Mercer Foundation launches with $1 billion endowment. The first project, building water purification systems in 12 African communities. Daniel leads the project. Marcus funds it. They work together. Not as investor and homeless man. As partners. Friends. Marcus moves out of his penthouse. Buys a smaller place. Donates the difference to charity. He doesn't need 30 stories above the city anymore. He needs a home. He rebuilds his relationship with Sophia. Sees her every weekend. Not as the distant father who sends gifts. As the dad who shows up. Who listens. Who cares. They go hiking. Cook together. Talk about life. She tells him about school. Friends. Dreams. And Marcus listens. Really listens. Catherine notices the change. One day, over coffee, she says, "You're different." "I am." "What happened?" "I met someone. Someone who showed me what I was missing." Catherine smiles. It's the first real smile she's given him in years. "I'm glad. Sophia needs her dad." "I know. And I'm going to be there. I promise. I believe you." At work, Marcus starts mentoring young entrepreneurs. Not the ones chasing billion-dollar exits. The ones chasing purpose. He funds projects that Wall Street would laugh at. A program teaching coding to homeless youth. A non-profit building prosthetics in developing nations. A startup creating biodegradable packaging. His peers think he's lost his mind. His net worth drops. His reputation shifts. He's no longer the man who never loses. He's the investor who gave it all away. But Marcus doesn't care. Because for the first time, he's winning at something that matters. Final meeting. 1 year later. The first water purification systems are operational. Communities that went years without clean water now have access. Children who were dying of waterborne diseases are thriving. Daniel's dream is real. Marcus and Daniel stand in a small village in Kenya, watching families fill jugs from the new system. A little girl, maybe 6, drinks from a cup. Her mother cries with gratitude. Daniel's eyes shine. "She did it," Daniel whispers. "Emily. She saved them." Marcus puts a hand on his shoulder. "You both did." They're quiet for a moment. Then Daniel turns to Marcus. "Thank you. For believing. For helping. For becoming the man you needed to be. You made me that man." "No." Daniel shakes his head. "You chose to become him. I just showed you the door. You walked through it." Marcus looks at the village. At the children playing. At the families celebrating. This is what matters, isn't it? Not the buildings. Not the money. This. Yes. I wish I'd understood it sooner. You understand it now. That's what counts. They walk back toward the truck. Daniel carries his notebook. It's more worn now. Filled with new notes. New dreams. Marcus looks at it. What's next? He asks. Daniel smiles. There's a lot more to build. Housing. Schools. Farms. The work doesn't end. Then I'm in. For as long as it takes. They shake hands. But it's more than a handshake. It's a promise. A partnership. A friendship forged in transformation. As they drive away, Daniel opens the notebook. Turns to the first page. Emily's handwriting. We build things that matter. He runs his finger over the words. Marcus watches him. Do you still miss her? Every day. But I don't feel lost anymore. Because I'm doing what she'd want. What we dreamed of. Daniel looks at Marcus. And I think she'd be proud. Not just of me. Of you too. Marcus's throat tightens. I hope so. I know so. They drive in comfortable silence. Two men. Two broken pasts. One shared purpose. And somewhere, in the space between them, a legacy grows. Final message. 5 years later. Marcus stands on a stage. Not a corporate stage. A community center in Detroit. He's addressing a room full of young people. Entrepreneurs. Dreamers. People who want to change the world. When I was your age, Marcus begins, I thought success meant money. Power. Winning. I built an empire chasing those things. And I lost everything that mattered. He pauses. Looks at the faces. They're listening. Really listening. Then I met a man. A homeless man sitting on a sidewalk with a notebook. And that man taught me something I'd forgotten. Something we all forget in our chase for success. Marcus holds up a worn notebook. Daniel's notebook. The audience leans forward. He taught me that a person's value isn't measured by their wealth. It's measured by what they build. What they give. What they leave behind. He opens the notebook. Shows them the blueprints. The designs. The dreams. This notebook changed my life. It belonged to a man named Dr. Daniel Mercer. He lost everything. His wife. His son. His career. But he never lost his purpose. He kept building. Kept dreaming. Kept fighting for a better world. Marcus's voice catches. Daniel passed away 6 months ago. But his legacy lives on. The water systems. The homes. The schools. They're all real. Because he believed. And he taught me to believe too. He closes the notebook. Looks at the audience. So here's what I want you to understand. Success isn't about how much you accumulate. It's about how much you give. It's not about the empire you build. It's about the lives you touch. The problems you solve. The world you leave behind. He holds up the notebook again. This is more valuable than every dollar I ever made. Because this is a legacy. And legacies matter more than money ever will. The room is silent. Then one person starts clapping. Then another. Then everyone. A standing ovation. Marcus smiles. He looks down at the notebook. At Emily's handwriting on the first page. We build things that matter. Thank you, Daniel, Marcus whispers. For showing me what matters. He walks off stage. In the front row, Sophia is crying. Proud. He sits next to her. She hugs him. That was beautiful, Dad. He was beautiful. And he saved me. They sit together. Father and daughter. Watching the next generation of dreamers. Ready to build. Ready to give. Ready to matter. And somewhere, in the space between what was and what will be, Daniel Mercer's legacy grows. Not in buildings or monuments, but in lives changed. Hearts opened. Worlds transformed. One notebook. One dream. One man who refused to stop building. And another man who learned to build alongside him. The end. The measure of a life is not what you accumulate, but what you build. Not what you take, but what you give. Not your wealth, but your worth. And worth is measured in the lives you touch, the problems you solve, and the legacy you leave behind. Build things that matter. Because in the end, that's all that does.